the average person is on their phone for 6 hours a day. That's social media pouring into us, people sharing just the worst possible suggestions, right? And then you're like, okay, I get them on social media a lot. And then you get in your car and you listen to the radio or your favorite podcast. And it's a little bit more of media just pouring into you. Good thoughts, bad thoughts, your favorite murder podcast, whatever. It's not a big deal. Then you go to work and then you take a lunch break and you're back on social media. And then you're driving home, there's radio again. Let me unwind, I'll watch some news, right? And it's just more just pouring junk into your life. And then at the end of that, you're like, okay, news is over. I'm going to head into bed. I'm a little bit tired, and so I'm going to get on social media, and I'm going to scroll and scroll and scroll until I'm tired. And that's mostly what we take in. And then Sunday comes. Or we remember there's a 40-day devotional. I'm going to start doing something, so I'm going to get a little, all right, Jesus. Now listen, if you spend 6 minutes with Jesus every morning, that's better than 0 minutes with Jesus. I'm not here to criticize that. What I'm saying is understand that what we take in is what is filling us, and that what is we are taking in constantly is actually going to be the thing that defines our life. Let's be fair, right? We probably take in 10 times more media than we spend time with Jesus. That's probably on average. That works pretty fair for me. Right? I might spend 5 minutes, talking and praying to God. I definitely spend more than an hour on social media. And the truth is, the things that we consume, the things that pour into us, that's what comes out. And that's why we're so stinking anxious. We wonder why we feel anxious all the time. It's because all we do is let junk pour into us. We are never meant to carry the weight of the world in our back pocket. And that's the thing. And here's a really cool feature. I actually just found out about this. It's a little bit of an older iPhone, but it still has this super cool feature. If you actually press and hold this button right here, super cool feature, this will pop up, slide to power off, and you can turn it off. And then guess what? It just stays off. It doesn't vibrate every 5 seconds. It doesn't have another text with somebody asking you something going on. It doesn't have a push notification about the terrible things happening in the world. It doesn't have your bank going, hey, don't forget to pay this bill. And you can actually leave it off for hours and nothing will happen. I'll leave it here and it won't bother me again. But so many of us feel shaken because we spend all of our time carrying this around, letting it fill us, giving us anxiety that shakes our world. What did they say about me on Instagram? Who tagged me on Facebook? Let me just read. I'm just going to read the comments. I'm not going to post anything. I just want to read it, right? Hey, where was that photo taken? Hey, we need to go on vacation there. I think if we went there, if I saved up and spent all my money, that would make me feel happy. What's my bank app saying? How much do I owe? Did the auto pay go through? Do I have overdraft protection? Let me just get into this real quick. It'll take 40 minutes, don't worry, right? Hey, did you hear the stupid thing that politician said? No, not that one. The one that I like said something, but what they really meant was, and it's all day, every day. It is in our pocket, it is on our walls, it is in our life, and it is giving us constant anxiety. God wants to fill us up with peace. But if we're already so full, there's only so much we can get. And that's really the problem, is what we fill ourselves up with actually shows us who we are deep down inside. When I consume God's truth, then guess what? That's good news. I'm too full to accept any more of the junk. It just rolls right out. It moves right on because there's no space for it if I fill myself up with the God stuff first. But if all I do is let media and the world and junk be poured into me, that's who I'm going to be. You know this. Input determines output. Input determines output. Maybe your mom once said this, garbage in, garbage out. It's why I couldn't play video games when I was a kid. I mean, I don't know how evil Mario is, but that's just how it goes. Garbage in, garbage out, right? Your input determines your output. What you take in will eventually come out. What you think is done in private, in the dark, will have its way of coming out. In fact, that's what we're going through right now as a culture. People love that. The things that they thought they said that nobody heard or nobody recorded, who they were in private, they're going public right now. And our culture loves that. Nobody is more excited to bash people in the face for things they said 20 years ago than the culture we live in now. Because what we love more than a hero is when you can take one down. So who you are in private, it will come out eventually. And so for all of you who grew up before Twitter, good for you. And for those of you who didn't, delete it if you can. But who you think, who you are in the dark is who you will eventually come out. It's like a sponge, right? When you soak it up, what you squeeze will come out. They say that what's deep down the well always comes up in the bucket. And so what you listen to, who you listen to, is actually who you become like. The voice you listen to constantly actually directs you towards who you will become. We say at Searchlight Church, I want to live and love like Jesus. I need to hear Jesus' voice. You need to be in his word. Let it fill you up. You need to be around his people who love Jesus and love you and challenge you to grow in your faith. You need to be serving people like Jesus served. There's no better way to be like Jesus than to serve in love. And so for that, we have to put down our phone. We have to put down the podcast. We have to stop focusing up so much on the TV.